Hello, good evening, everyone. This is Tunde Disu once again, welcoming you to another episode of Become a Better Man. Become a Better Man. I want to start by saying thank you for all those who were with us last week when we started the program or a new broad topic on man and his finance. And we will be continuing on that same journey today. So let's Steve Thompson, thank you for joining us. Hi, it's Velita and the girls or the ladies now. It's good to have you, sir. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's topic is we're still looking at man and his finance, but we'll be looking at another aspect of the finance of, well, not just a man and a woman. It's something that we all do, we all have, we all relate to, we live with, we work with. And if you remember last week when we started this month's topic on man and his finance, I did mention that this month I am going to be in your house. I'm going to be in your pocket, be in your checkbook, be in your expenses, be in your income and all of that, because at the end of the day, this is something that a lot of, all of us really will relate to. Nobody is out there, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't handle money, you don't use finance, you don't talk finance, you don't search for money, look for money, work for money, run after money, save money, spend money, whatever it is that you do in your life, especially in this day and age, somehow, somewhere, money is involved. Now, if money is that important or is that close to all of us, I think it is just wisdom that we should look into what is this thing about money? How can I become better at earning it, keeping it, saving it, managing it, and all of that? So that's what we'll be looking at throughout this month. Man and his finance. Shegun Oyenose, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Please, as you're joining, let's go ahead and click the share button so that people can know that we are on. So, as I was saying, money is something that we all handle in one form or another. And therefore, it is very important for us to know more about it. The Bible talks about faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. It's the same thing in this aspect of our money too. For us to understand and be masters over money, we must understand a lot more than we already know about it. You see, the degree to which you can control or manage a substance is to the degree to which you know the characteristics of that substance and you know how to handle, how to manage, and how to use that substance. So it is a vital topic that we're looking at this month. Edwin, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. So it is important for all of us to know a little bit more. I think that's the point I'm trying to make, because I believe for you to be where you are now, for me to be where I am now, we've all handled money, good way or bad way, irrespective of whichever is the outcome of the way we've handled it. But we have all handled money. We're still handling it. We're still dealing with it. But it is better for us to know better than we did yesterday so that our tomorrow can be better than today. So that is why this month is a crucial month as we look into the broad topic of man and his finance. Man and his finance. On today's topic, on today's program, the area we'll be looking at specifically is build your wealth. Build your wealth. Dr. Ologmebi, thank you for joining us. Build your wealth. Now, when you hear the word wealth, it is easy it is common for people to start thinking of riches, of money. Well, you are not incorrect, you are just incomplete. And as we go through today's program, you'll begin to understand why I make such a bold statement. But at the beginning, let me ask some very personal questions. Have you ever feel you are not getting ahead as far as your finances are concerned? Have you ever feel that no matter how hard you work, no matter how much effort you put into it, no matter how much hours you put into it, it just seems that the extra that comes doesn't measure up to the amount of extra effort that you're putting into the labor that is generating that finance? Or do you feel even though you have increased your hours, even though you've been promoted, even though you are doing more, but your finances seems to be stuck in the same gear? You look back at your life 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago, and it seems your finance is still where it was then, even though there are other things around you that you've changed or you've improved upon, but your finance seems to be stuck in the gear it was 5 years ago. Do you sometimes feel you kind of run out of money before the end of the month, or even before your next salary is due? You're already counting days. Does it seem like you have more bills every month than the last month or the previous month? Even though you're doing everything to pay them, it just seems like the more you pay them, the more they manifest or something like that. Or have you made a promise to yourself to say, I'm going to open a savings account, and every month I'm going to put some money in my savings account? And with all good intentions, with all effort on your part to do that, you end up every month thinking, where is that money I was going to put in the savings account? Because you can't find it. It is not there. Now, don't get me wrong. Most of us are going through this phase. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. We just need to find a way to correct the anomalies. Tunde Otelo, thank you for joining us. We just need to find a way to correct this seemingly insurmountable mountain that is before us. And how do we do that? If you've answered yes to any of these scenarios that I've painted, or even all of them, as the case may be, let me tell you why it is so. It is because your mindset regarding finance is wrong. You have a wrong mindset as far as finance is concerned. And that is why tonight's program is special. And that is why, if you notice, I'm not in a rush. I just want to take my time so that we can lay this down step by step, so that we can go home better than we were when we started the program. So what do I mean by your mindset is wrong? The question you're asking is, what has my mindset got to do with my finance? I can tell you everything. It has everything to do with your finance. Everything to do with your finance. You know, the Bible talks about, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And whatever we see on the outside that is manifesting on your outside is a reflection, is a mirror of what's going on the inside. So if you want to correct what you are seeing on the outside, if you are not happy with the manifestations that you are seeing and you are dealing with on a daily, on a monthly, on a weekly basis, don't work on the symptoms. Go down to the root and tackle it from there. And the root is from the inside. And that is why I said your mindset has everything to do with your finance, or your financial situation, or your financial position. Your mindset has everything to do with it. An author called Jack Bogle, he wrote a book called The Boglehead Guide to Investing. Boglehead's Guide to Investing. He said in that book, he said there are two mentalities when it comes to personal finance. There are two paradigms. There are two worlds. There are two villages, as it were, where people live as far as personal finance is concerned. And depending on which of these paradigms that you are in will determine the outcome that you're experiencing in your life. The first paradigm, the first mentality is the paycheck mentality. The paycheck mentality. The paycheck mentality is simply somebody who has a job, and the only way of him or her that they can think of increasing their income is to do more hours, to do overtime, to get a second job, and all of that. And all they are thinking about is, what's today's date? The 20th, the 22nd, the 25th, or even the 30th. Then there should be an alarm going on in my bank account saying my salary has been paid into my account. So such a person or such a mindset is a paycheck mentality. It's where you live on a wheel that will go round, and at the point on the 22nd or 23rd or 25th of the month, then you get paid. That is paycheck mentality. So the only way such people can increase their income, can't even talk of wealth as far as they're concerned. The only way they can increase their income is to increase the number of hours that they put to the work they do. Thank you, Pastor Ayokule Kayode, for joining us. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you, sir. The second mentality, so the first one is a paycheck mentality, living from paycheck to paycheck. The second mentality is the net worth mentality. The net worth mentality. The net worth mentality is a person that is also looking for a way to increase his or her income. But instead of doing more hours to increase it, they approach it from a different angle. They approach it with a different mindset, a different mentality, a different system is what they apply. And the system they apply is they boost their income by building their wealth. They increase their income by building their wealth. And how do they do that? Number one, they engage in regular savings. And number two, they convert the savings into investment. So a net worth minded person also wants to increase his income, but instead of doing more hours, what they do is they do the same hours, but they save some and invest their savings. And you will see more of this as we go along. Now, if you look at these two paradigms, these two villages, like I said at the beginning, the paycheck mentality and the net worth mentality, you will agree with me that the second mentality is definitely better than the first one. At least I know that. I don't know about you. But the net worth mentality is a better way, it's a better system to build wealth and be better in life than the paycheck mentality. So the question is, why are so many people still stuck in the paycheck mentality? Why are people still locked down in the paycheck mentality? Let me ask you, for those of us that are out there Why do you think people are still locked down in this paycheck mentality, even though it is very obvious that the second system of saving and investing is a better way of building wealth? Why are people still locked in the paycheck mentality? The reason for these, I'm going to enumerate some points now to bring to our attention some of the reasons why people are still locked in the paycheck mentality. The first one is this: since we're old enough to understand, to recognize, and to appreciate things and values, the society has conditioned us to confuse income with wealth. The society, the environment, they have conditioned us to associate or to confuse the meaning of income with the meaning of wealth. Now, what do I mean by that? For instance, when you were growing up and when I was growing up, maybe after your secondary school or while you were still in secondary school, your parents probably will ask you, what do you want to do? What do you want to become in life? And some will have said, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a civil engineer, a teacher, and all of that. And somehow, we have been raised as people to relate such positions or such job titles to wealth. But the truth is, it's not true. That is not very true. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a civil engineer, you can be an astronaut, you can be whatever you want to be and still not be wealthy. So it is not the title of your job, it's not the office that you occupy, it is not the name on the door to your office that determines whether you are rich, you are poor, you are broke, or you are wealthy. Remember at the beginning we said it is all in the mind. It's a mindset. We have come to understand and to judge economic success of our friends, our relatives, of our colleagues at work by how much money they earn. We have associated earning or income or salary with wealth. And that is wrong. And I'm going to prove it tonight. Lekon, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. In some instances, when we hear people earning 6 and even 7-figure salaries, immediately we say, oh, those are wealthy people. Really? Although there is a definite relationship between income and wealth, they are completely and totally and absolutely and clearly separate and distinct as far as economic measures are concerned. Income and wealth are not the same thing. You see, the truth is this: you can be rich and not be wealthy. You can be rich and not be wealthy. But you cannot be wealthy and not be rich. I'll say that again. You can be rich and not be wealthy. But you cannot be wealthy and not be rich. Income is how much you earn in a given period of time. That's your income. How much you are paid per hour. How much you are paid per week. How much you are paid per day. How much is your monthly income. How much is your annual salary. All of that are income. They are paid. That is what you earn in a given period of time. If you earn $1 million a year, and you add none of that million to your wealth, or convert any of that million to your wealth, you have lived a lavish life, and you have ended up a poor man with $1 million price tag. So it is not the size of what you earn that we're looking at. The issue is those who focus on this, how much I earn and the value of your income and all of that. What they are missing out, the vital ingredient that they are missing out in all of this, it's not about how much is your salary. It's not about how much is your income. It's not about the value or the amount that is assigned to you. What makes the difference is how much of that are you keeping for yourself in terms of savings and investment. So you could be making £1 million a month. If none of that is ending up in a savings account somewhere, in an investment somewhere, in a safe deposit somewhere, you are just rich. You're not wealthy. And for a rich person, all it takes is one change of the wind blowing, and he will become a poor man or woman, as the case may be. Omanike, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. So, it is not about how much you make. It is not about how much you earn. It's not about your price tag. The main issue is how much of it do you keep at the end of the day. You see, wealth building mentality isn't just about making more money. Wealth building mentality is about keeping more of what you are making to create a long-lasting asset and security for yourself and your family. That is what wealth building mentality is about. I remember reading a book, a very popular, iconic book. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. The Richest Man in Babylon. And if you have not read that book, I highly, highly recommend it. The Richest Man in Babylon talks about, it's a principle about building wealth. And one of the core principles of that book is what is called pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. And it's all this about putting aside some savings and then invest that savings to build wealth. Quickly, we're going to compare an income or paycheck mentality with net worth or net worth mentality. Living on paycheck to paycheck mentality versus building a net worth mentality. Please, if you have not shared this program, please let's go ahead and share it. The paycheck mentality is a very fragile life. It's like living on the thread of a spider's web. It is as fragile as that. The paycheck mentality, let me paint a picture here. Okay, you have a good job, and it's the job of your dream, and you are making good salary from it. Well done, congratulations. But then the question is, what happens when that income stops? What happens to you when that income, when it stops? Because maybe you've been laid off at work, or maybe because the job itself, the organization you work for has gone into liquidation or filed for bankruptcy. What happens to that? Suddenly, your big volume paycheck. If you've been living up to that point from paycheck to paycheck, and suddenly you are laid off, or the organization goes out of business, then you're back to zero. You are back to zero. The paycheck mentality makes your life very, very, very fragile. because your income, your financial security is dependent upon your income. But the funny thing, the sad part of that is that you have very little control over that income. You have very little control over that income. And because of that, that income can easily be taken away. It can be here today, gone tomorrow, just like that. But yet, that is where most of us, most people in life, built their sustenance, their financial security on this level of system, of a paycheck to paycheck. Hey, Stephen F.A., thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. So that's a fragile life. But a net worth mentality is not fragile. It is not fragile. The reason for that is you are not just living on your paycheck. You could have started with a paycheck. In fact, you could still be on paycheck, earning your paycheck. But the difference is you have resources beyond your paycheck. You have other security, other financial stability outside of that paycheck. So if there's a setback, like we said at the earlier on, if there is suddenly the paycheck dries up or the organization goes out of operation or you are laid off, because you have other resources, you can easily bounce back. You can easily pick yourself up. You can easily fall back on that other resources that you have. Mr. Waraka, thank you for joining us. Hi, Sir Freddie and Teddy. And Reggie, sorry. If you save, let's say you are still on your paycheck, that's your source of income. But while you are earning that income, you're making some savings and you are investing wisely. You will not just develop financial resilience, but you will become financial anti-fragility. You will not be fragile as far as your finance is concerned, because even though your main income is from your paycheck, but it is not the only source, it is not the only sustenance of your financial life. You also have other resources which you have built up either by savings or by investment. Instead of just getting by or barely getting by in case of adversity, when you have a net worth mentality, you have money in the bank that can provide flexibility for you. You can choose whether you want to look for another job or you just want to do your own thing. But more than that, you have enough resources that when an opportunity shows up at your door, you're not scratching your head. You are ready to take advantage of it. Or maybe you just want to pursue your goal, your dream, your vision, your destiny. You are not reliant on the next paycheck to do that. Why? Because you have made adequate provision in terms of savings and in terms of investment to support that income when it was there. So the first comparison between a paycheck mentality to a net worth mentality is the fragility of a paycheck mentality compared to the resilience and the infragility of a net worth mentality. Number two, if you have a net worth mindset, your wealth will grow even when you are not working. Your wealth will be growing, will be increasing, will be multiplying, will be quadrupling, even when you are not working. What do I mean by that? To increase your income, for instance, if you're a paycheck to paycheck person, like I said, all you have to do is increase the number of hours that you do, or do overtime, or get a second job. Or you provide more value to your employer or to your client, then your income will increase. That's all that it can be. But on the other hand, to increase your wealth, you have one of the best things since sliced bread on your side. And that is that thing called the principle of compounding interest or compound interest. The principle of compound interest is your best friend. What do I mean by that? You start saving little by little, little by little. You start investing little by little. A time will come when compound interest, the effect of compound interest will take over, and you'll be going from addition, not even to multiplication, but exponential multiplication when the principle of compound interest kicks in into your finance. Because suddenly, both the capital and the accrued interest are now generating even more interest, more than you can calculate. It will get to a certain point where your wealth development, your money, instead of you working for money, your money is not working for you. Maybe you're on vacation in Hawaii with your family. Meanwhile, your money is doubling, is tripling, is quadrupling because of a net worth mentality. Because you have developed a net worth mentality simply by putting some aside for savings and then turning the savings into investment. The third comparison between a paycheck mentality and a net worth mentality is this. With a paycheck mentality, you concentrate solely on your income, which is a one-dimensional and less effective strategy, like we have enumerated before, because you can only increase your income by increasing your physical output in terms of the number of hours you do or get a second job or all of that. But when you are a net worth minded person, there are two options, there are two approaches that you will adopt to build your wealth quicker. The first one is you are attacking and beating down and eliminating, completely wiping out any form of debt in your life. Any form of borrowing, any form of credit card, and this one card and that one loan, and as soon as possible you're getting rid of them. That's a net worth mentality person. The second approach that you then engage is what we've been talking about, which is you increase your net worth by savings and by investing. So as you can see, while the paycheck mentality person is only looking for, oh, if I can do extra hours and if I can do an overtime or just come and work again over the weekend, then I'll get extra income. But to a net worth minded person, savings and investment is generating money, and at the same time, they're beating down, they're eliminating, they're annihilating completely any form of debt that exists in their life. Samuel Adeyemi, thank you for joining us. Please, let's go ahead and share this message. So, you now may be wondering, I've heard everything you've said, Tunde. I like the idea. In fact, I am in for it. I want to, maybe up to now you are not doing it, maybe you are not involved with, or you have not developed a net worth mentality. And now the question is, okay, how do I do this? How do I develop this net worth mentality that you are talking about? And I'm going to give us about 6 or 7 points of how to develop a net worth mentality. The first one is that you need to focus on net worth. You need to focus on net worth. What do I mean by that? When you talk, when you study people who are rich, who are wealthy, people who are, yes, people who are wealthy, when you listen to them talk, they don't talk about how much they earn. They talk about the assets and the values of those assets. They don't occupy their time with things like, oh, I make this so amount of money per hour. No. Because to them it's not the hourly rate that's important. It's what value is it adding to their baseline as far as their net worth is concerned. Net worth is the foundational measure by which all millionaires and all billionaires and those of us that are about to join their ranks, it is the yardstick with which they are measured. It is the yardstick with which they are measured. That's their language. That's what they talk about. That's how they relate. That's how they view. That is their mentality. That's their mindset. You see, like I said at the beginning, it's easy for us to get confused about, oh, look at all these movie stars and celebrities and sports personalities, even footballers. Look at how much they are making a week. I mean, how can you pay somebody? I think it was during the week, it came out somehow that Zlatan Ibrahimovic is earning about 363,000 or 66,000 pounds a week. 366,000 pounds a week. And you hear that and your mind is tripping because you're thinking, you can't even start to compute that, because here you are on £8.75 an hour. And the end of the week, you're going home with maybe 150, 180 pounds. And here's a guy that, how do you count that every week? But the issue is not about that. The issue is not about, most of these movie stars and celebrities and pop singers and you name them that we see, and the media is glamorizing and making them look like they're not from this planet. Most of them are rich, but they're not wealthy. Most of them are rich, but they are not wealthy. Hey, Gbenga Fatuma, thank you for joining me. Moses Ogedengwe, thank you for joining me. Most of them are rich, but they're not wealthy. And when you look at their lives, it is not surprising that you hear most of them, oh, they found him dead in his room, overdosed on drugs. Oh, he hung himself or herself. Oh, he got shot. Well, their lives are just, it's the glamour. That's what it is. There's no substance to most of them. Unfortunately, the society has made it look as if that's life. And that is why everybody wants to be like them. Everybody wants to be a celebrity. Everybody wants to be a movie star, a footballer, a pop singer, and all of that. Most of those lifestyles, they're fake. Most of them, they have no root, they have no substance, they have no structure. Because all they have is riches, not wealth. That is why a footballer, for instance, that's been playing football for 22 years, for 25 years, earning all that money, 3 years, 5 years after retirement, they are broke. They are completely wiped out. And you're wondering, what happened? Because all along he was or she was a rich person, but not a wealthy person. Therefore, if you wish to become wealthy in anything, your focus should not be on the surplus. Your focus should be on the surplus and the net value of that surplus. You remember I said earlier on, it is not about how much you make. It is about how much you keep out of what you make, how much you save, how much you invest, that will determine whether you are just a rich person or you are a wealthy person. And remember, I said you can be rich and not be wealthy, but you cannot be wealthy and not be rich. The choice is yours. The choice is mine. Monica Van Kooten, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. So, the first way to create a wealth mentality, a net worth mentality, is for you to focus on the net worth. The net worth. Focus on the net worth. That is where wealth is. The second way of developing this net worth mentality is that you must have specific goals. Have specific goals. Having a goal is not enough. It used to be, but not anymore. Having a goal is not enough. Your goal must be specific. A specific goal with a excuse me. A specific goal with a specific blueprint is what is required for you to build a wealth mentality. A goal in itself, a goal on its own, a goal just by itself without action will never guarantee success. And in order for your goal to be specific, there has to be some volume of action that is injected into it for it to yield success. Action is a singular characteristic that every self-made successful people that they display. Every other attribute in the journey of success, they are debatable, but not action. Not action. You have to do something about it. You have to have some action to back your goal. You have to support your goal with some action for it to yield a net worth mentality for you. You see, action is the main vehicle that everyone taking the wealth mentality express that they are riding on. Action. 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 The Bible says faith without work is dead. Ufoma, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sharing as well. Please, if you have not shared this program, let's go ahead and do that. Your starting point, listen to this. Your starting point is where you are right now. Where you are right now. Your specific goal is the destination that you wish to arrive at. The bus stop where you need to come off this train. That's your specific goal. The gap between where you are now and your destination is the action that you take in between. Let me give you an example. Say you go to Blue Water or Trafford Center. You come through the door and it's just like, whoa, what's this? Everything is just in your face. But you needed to go to Clark. Say Clark's, for instance, you need to get shoes for your children for their school. And there you are, maybe for the first time in that shopping mall, you don't even know which direction Clark's is. Immediately your eyes is looking for where is the nearest map of this mall. When you find the map, you stand in front of the map. The first thing you'll be looking for is that red dot. Where is the red dot? Because the red dot says you are here. This is where you are right now. Now, having located, having identified your current position, you can then begin to trace your way, map your path to where Clark's is so that you can get there, get what you need, and go back. So until you identify where you are, your destination is not even on the agenda yet. But even having identified where you are and having established where you are going, until you put some action behind it, until you start walking from where you are, from the point of that red dot, until you start walking towards where Clarks is on that map, you're not going home with a pair of shoes for your child. So you need to put some action behind what you're doing. Marvelous Nantu, thank you for joining us. Toyin Abidemi Shomoye, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, all of you. Appreciate you. Without these three ingredients, you don't have a recipe for success or for wealth mentality. What are these three ingredients? Where are you? Where are you currently located? Number 2, have you set your destination, which is your specific goals? Have you established that? And number 3, have you put some action behind it to propel you, to carry you, to transfer you from where you are to where you want to be? So those 3 ingredients, they are key elements in order for you to arrive at your destination. Odafe Anihoro, thank you for joining me. Maya Walaya, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. So the reason for having specific goals is because the depth and the detail of that goal will determine the type and the amount of action that you will need to put behind it to take you to your destination. I'll say that again. The reason why you need specific goal, remember, specific goal is your destination. The reason you need specific goal is because the depth and the detail, the strength of that specific goal will determine the volume of action that you need to put behind it in order for you to arrive at your destination. So the second way of developing a net worth mentality is that you must have specific goals. Number 3, the number 3 way of developing a net worth mentality is that you must have a definite purpose. You must have a definite purpose. What do I mean by that? And I don't want you to confuse this definite purpose with specific goals. They're 2 different things. So listen to this. What do I mean by you must have a definite or definite purpose? I will ask you a question. I need you to be objective, be sincere, be truthful with yourself in answering this question. Are you ready? Are you ready? Now, this is the question. Is your work your purpose? Fatima, thank you for joining us. Is your work your purpose? Let me put it another way. The work that you are currently doing, the method with which you earn your living right now, is that your purpose in life? When you wake up in the morning and you get dressed up, you step out of the house, you get in your car, on the train, on the bus, on the tube, whichever one, to go to your place of work. Would you say that work is your purpose in life? Do you feel like you are meant to do what you are doing right now to earn your living? Do you think that is what you are meant to do to earn your living? If it's not, if your answer to that question is no, if you know in your knower that what you are doing now is not your purpose in life, you need to find that definite purpose. You need to locate exactly what your exact purpose is in life. And when when you find it, you need to to focus on it and pour yourself into it 100%, whatever it is. You need to find it. When you found it, you need to focus on it and pour yourself into it 100%. It is only when you have found the singular, definite purpose for which you are created would you be able to put your heart and your soul and your strength into whatever you are doing. Adejobi, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Until you are able to locate your purpose, whatever you do will not give you satisfaction, will not make you feel fulfilled. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of people are stuck in a paycheck mentality. Because they have not found, a lot of people have not even looked for, search for, research and make inquiries about, why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? What am I created to do, to achieve, to accomplish, to bring to this planet? Unfortunately, many people can't answer this question, that what they are doing right now is their purpose. Excuse me. You know why many people can't answer that? Do you know why many people can't answer that? Because many people, a lot of people, have not stopped to ask themselves, what is that? What is it that truly makes me happy? What is it that actually makes me happy? Because without this self-exploration, it is impossible to know what makes you happy until you stop and ask yourself, what makes me happy? What turns my engine on? What gets me excited? Until you're able to establish it, you won't be happy. Irrespective of what you do and how much you earn, you will not be happy. And until you are able to identify what makes you happy, you will have difficulty in knowing what your purpose is. So the third way of establishing this net worth mentality is for you to find what your purpose in life is. And when you find it, pour yourself into it 100%, totally. It will bring you joy, it will bring you happiness, but more than that, it will give you fulfillment and you'll be able to build your net worth from it. Number 4, make your destiny. Make your own destiny. Make your own destiny. Whatever, remember this, you are in control of everything and anything that happens to you in life that is not considered rather as an act of God. Whatever happens to you in life that is not considered as an act of God, you are responsible for it. What do I mean by that? It is up to you, it is up to me to determine, to design, to pursue, to make our destiny. I know some religious mindset are already tripping on that to say, so where is God in all of this? The truth is this, ladies and gentlemen, God has done all he has to do. Bible talks about in the beginning when he created man, he blessed them. That's all we need. His blessing has already been released. It is now up to you, it's up to me to now go and use that released blessing to make our life count. To make our lives count for the purpose for which God created us. So what am I saying? It is your responsibility and it is my responsibility to make our destiny. Sometimes there are instances that are completely outside of your control. And it's understandable. We understand that. But it's not an excuse. You can't use that as a crutch. You can't use that as an excuse. Because when it comes to being the architect of your long-time life print, when it becomes the issue of designing your life, you and you alone is responsible for that. See, in life there are two types of people. Most people are thermometers. Most people are thermometers. They report what's going on. They let you know this is what is happening to me. They react to life and everything that life throws at them. You just need to look at them and you can know, oh, Mr. Man is not happy today. You need to just have a look at them and you think, oh, the man has just is bouncing. They give information. They tell you what's happening around them. They are called thermometers. They report the incident. They report the environment. They report what is going on around them. The other people, the second set of people, are called thermostats. They are thermostats. You know what they do? They set the temperature of their lives. They architect, they design, they program, they manage, they construct their lives. And these are people that have net worth mentality. While most people are thermometers rather, the thermostats of this world are the healthy, the wealthy, and the happy people. The choice is, what would you want to be? Do you want to continue to be a thermometer, or would you change today and become a thermostat? Number 5 way of developing a net worth mentality is you have to measure your progress. You have to stop from time to time and ask yourself, how far have I come? What have I achieved so far? What is left? Where am I right now? Take stock. The Bible talks about pondering the path of your life. You need to, from time to time, to stop and ask and audit yourself and challenge yourself and query yourself and ask yourself questions you don't want to ask and answer them. Because until you start to do that, you won't know whether you are making progress or not. If you don't stop from time to time to check. You see, every time you stop to check and you look back and you see how far you've come, what you have achieved, that sense of accomplishment, it becomes a boost. It energizes you. It increases your level of confidence, and you are able to square your shoulder, raise your head high, and take on the next mile, and take on the next task, and go after the construction of your life. So you must learn to measure your progress. And you see, the thing about progress in life is this. Every day we have distractions and obstacles and side attractions that will try to distract you. But because you stop every now and again to take measure, to take charge, to check and consider your path, you are able to identify what are those triggers that bring distraction, that brings derailment. What are those things that causes me to lose focus on my goal, on my assignment, on building my life? All this you will be able to establish when you have a measure to measure or a system to measure your progress. The next way of developing this net worth mentality is that you must be deadline driven. You must be deadline driven. You must be deadline driven. Allowing yourself to be placed in certain situation of pressure can develop valuable skills in you that, in fact, some of them you don't even know you have. Some of them you don't know you have. I have a saying, I said, some anointing will not come up until you put pressure on them. It's like a tea bag. When you look at a tea bag, it's a sachet. The content is dry. It's very tiny. It's not even much. You're wondering, what can you do with it? Wait till you put pressure of boiled water on it. And then you see that tea bag start to release its content, start to release its juices, start to release its potentials. That is exactly what setting a deadline or living a deadline-driven life will do for you. It will help you to go beyond the point of comfort. It will press you beyond the point that you are willing to go, because now there is a mark that you have set, and you have to be truthful to yourself. Hey, JB, thank you. Olasukome, thank you for joining us. If you don't have a deadline set for your life, for your activities, for the things you do, procrastination will set in. And you know, procrastination is the killer of dreams. Procrastination is the killer of dreams. Any goal without a sense of urgency will rarely be accomplished. Any goal without a sense of do it now, do it now, do it now, will rarely be accomplished. So the easiest way to defeat procrastination is for you to formulate a formula that sets deadline for everything that you do. It's important to do that. We're nearly there. I don't know if this is helping anybody, but I am definitely learning a lot from this, even more than I did when I was preparing for this program. I'm learning a lot. The next way up, the next step to develop a net worth mentality is you must fall in love with hard work. Fall in love with what? Hard work. Work hard. I know the psychologists and the motivational speakers and all of them, they've told us, oh, don't work hard, just work smart. Really? The truth is, you can't work smart without working hard. The hard part must have gone in before the smart part can follow it. And when we talk about working hard, it's not just physical working. The hardest work you can do is mental. It's engaging your brain. It's thinking through processes. Is formulating ideas and building it in your head and making it almost paint a picture of what it is before your hand is ever involved. So in order for you to develop a net worth mentality, you have to fall in love with hard work. There is no substitute for hard work in developing wealth mentality. No substitute. No substitute. Why is that? When you work, you are building things, you are making things, you are creating things. Work is a definite progression towards a specific goal with a deadline for accomplishing that goal. Work has a high probability of generating wealth in the case of monetary wealth. You have to work hard. Don't be lazy. In fact, the Bible says, if any man will not work, that man should not eat. So fall in love with hard work. Before you perform a task, ask yourself this simple question. Before you do anything, ask yourself this simple question. Is this work? This that I'm about to do now, is it work? Is it classified as work? Checking your email every 5 minutes, is it work? Checking your Facebook, your WhatsApp, your every other thing, is it work? Going on a break for 2 hours, is it work? Oh, there's a new iPad and iPhone and whatever is coming out, and you spend hours examining and studying it before it is released. Is that work? Is it work? The truth is this, for most of us, if we will stop at the end of every day and just look back at how you have spent your working day, if we will make a conscious effort to audit our daily activities, some of us will be so guilty we'll have to return half of our salary to our employers. Because you will realize that majority of your working day was spent not working. Majority of your working day was spent not working. There is one more way to work your way to wealth. One of the best way, if not the best way, to work your way to wealth is what is called the concept of leverage. The concept of leverage. It is the most efficient way to work your way to wealth. What does it mean? Leverage is that your work must be directed. Listen to this. Hey, Stella, thank you for joining us. Leverage is that your work must be directed towards building something that has value. Whether that be a service or a product. The best way to work is to adopt the concept of leverage. And leverage is that your work must be directed towards building something that has value, either a service or a product. Either a service or a product. The question that you and I need to answer tonight is, what you are building now, the work you are doing now, the place you spend 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours every day, 5, 6 days a week, some people 7 days a week, that work that you put all your effort in, that thing that you are building, that leverage that you are exercising, that concept of leverage that you've tapped into, is it for you? Is it to build a product or a service with your name on it, or is it for someone else? Are you building for someone else's product or services? Because for as long as you are building it without your name on it, you are living in a paycheck mentality. You are living in a paycheck mentality. So, one of the ways to develop a net worth mentality, a wealthy mentality, is to learn how to work hard. And that working hard is called leverage. And like we said, leverage is building something with value, that has value, that gives value, either as a product or as a service. The next way to develop this wealth mentality is you also need to learn how to play hard. Hi, Wilson. Thank you for joining us. Stella, thank you. Appreciate you. You also need to learn to play hard. You remember when about a month or over a month ago, we did a series on play, on serve, on work. It seems like we're coming back to it again. We're saying the same thing here. You need to work hard, and now we're saying you need to also learn to play. You need to learn to play. What good is having an abundance of wealth if it doesn't allow you to have an excess of finance as well as your most important asset, which is your time? What's the point of having all the money and all the finance and all the wealth if you don't have an extra time that is just for you? But you see, as a wealthy person, one of the best things you will have at your disposal is time, because you are leveraging. Because now you remember your best friend, the principle of compound interest has kicked in, and it's now your money is now working for you rather than you working for the money. And what that will do is it will release you to have more time to do what you want to do. You want to travel the world, you want to go on cruise, you want to take your spouse somewhere, you want to take the evening away, you want to go and play golf, whatever catches your fancy. Now you have the time to do it because your money is now working for you rather than you working for your money. The most valuable form of wealth, listen to this, the most valuable form of wealth comes in the name of abundance of free time. Time at your disposal. Time when you can do what you want to do. Time when you can invest your life into something new, start a new project, start a new idea, pursue a new passion. Become a philanthropist, travel and help the needy, work with NGOs to bring relief to different parts of the world. Why? Because now you have this free time on your hand. You can only do that if you have tapped into what we said earlier on about leverage. About leverage. About leverage. Just like many things in nature, there's a delicate balance between working hard and playing hard. But this balance must be maintained if you want to remain a wealthy person. There's a delicate balance between working hard and playing hard. Too much work and you become less efficient in your goals and progression. Too much play and you lose sight of your goals and fall into the trap of procrastination and other motivation-bursting emotions. The key to life, ladies and gentlemen, is balance. The key to life in everything is balance. It's balance. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. I have learned so much from tonight's program. And I am going to go back and start working on all of these things. Because I want my life to count. I want my life to measure. I want my life to be worth something at the end of the day. And my challenge to you is, would you make that same decision? Will you make that same commitment that you want your life to count, to mean something? You want your life to be measured at the end and have substance to show for it. This is a challenge for you and for me. My prayer is whatever that we have heard tonight, whatever we have said tonight, whatever has ministered to us tonight, in all that we have said, the Bible talks that said Apollo may plant, Paul may plant, Apollo may water, but it's God that gives the increase. My prayer tonight is that the God of increase will minister, will breathe a breath of increase on that which we have discussed tonight. And the manifestation of that will become real in your life and in my life. Because our lives must be different. We must be counted as one of those wealthy people. Not just rich people, but wealthy people. It starts with a mindset. It starts with a mentality. It starts with a decision. I hope you've made that decision tonight, because I have. I definitely have made that decision tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the time tonight. Thank you for listening. know we've gone over the time. I'm sorry about that. But these things are just, they're so dear to my heart. I don't want to shortchange anybody. Thank you so much. What is the task for this week? What is the task for this week? It's simple. Go through your day and go over these 8 or 7 principles that we have talked about tonight on how to develop this net worth mentality, this wealth mentality. The ways that we say you can develop them. Go through them over and over and over again until they begin to manifest in your life. Quickly, announcement, we're 2 days away. Woohoo! We're 2 days away from Become a Better Man seminar. Again, it's on Saturday, the 13th of May. The address is number 33A Bexley Road in Erie. I can't wait to see you there. And please, please, if you have still not registered, my brothers and sisters, if you have not registered, do it tonight. Do it like now. Do your registration now. It's a few clicks and you are registered. Do it now. Invite somebody. Those that you have invited, send them a reminder. Call them up to remind them that it's on Saturday that we're having this event. It's going to be a wonderful time. It is going to be a wonderful, wonderful time in the presence of God. So please, if you have not registered, it's free registration. It doesn't cost anything apart from click, 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 and it is done. Again, it's everywhere on my social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, whatever. It's all on there. Go and register. To some of you, I've sent it to you as a message. I've sent it on WhatsApp. Just click on it and register. Finally, I have some good news. Some good news to share with you. I have had a conversation with Dr. Daniel Imoideme, and we are now finalizing arrangement. Hopefully, the whole of the month of June, every Thursday in June, Dr. Daniel Imoideme will be with us. We're still working on the modalities because of his other schedule, but please, you don't want to miss it. For those who were there, who had seen or watched the video when he was here with us, you know what I'm talking about. So please spread the news, tell all your friends, tell your contacts, and as soon as all the arrangements are completed and confirmed, I will come on this platform to announce it. So please watch out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great time spending this time with you. I appreciate you. I thank you for your time. I honor you. I honor your commitment to this program. I do not take it for granted. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you. God bless you richly. Until next week, when we meet again to look at another aspect of man and his finance. This is Tunde Disu once again saying, we are not stopping until we get to that destination called better men and better women. Thank you for your time. See you next week. Bye-bye. God bless you.